All right, ladies, you got 1 minute left. 1 minute left for the ladies. All right, thank you, ladies. If you can start to clear the pool for us, please. That is the end of your warm-up, ladies. If you can clear the pool, thank you. Okay, so here we are once again. A very good morning and welcome to the last day, day number 6 and session number 11 of the 2022 Lancashire County Championships. So what have we got coming up for you this morning? We've got event 601, which is going to be the males open 50 metre breaststroke. That's going to be followed by 602, the women's 200 metres freestyle. Moving on to event 603, your men's open 800 metres freestyle. And then we'll finish the morning with events 604 through to 610, which will be the males 50 metre breaststroke finals. So, by the looks of things, we are pretty much ready to go. So we are going to be starting at event 601, which is going to be a men's open 50 metre breaststroke. There are going to be 15 heats in this event. As always, we'll start at heat number 1, so we will pass you down to your race officials.
In Heat 1, we've got Lane 2, Samuel Williams. Lane 3 is James Vaughan. Lane 4 is Leo Talbot. And Lane 5 is Hayden Battle.
Okay, so as they make their way through the pool in the first 25, all the lads in a straight line. For everyone joining on YouTube this morning, welcome. As I said, once again, if you've got any good luck messages, it's hashtag LancsChamps2022 on Twitter. Obviously, with the 50 metre races, it's a bit hard, but we'll get them read out as if we can. But as the boys come under the wall, we're going to see who touches first. There's going to be Leo, and he touches in a time of 40.90. And we move to heat number 2.
And in heat number 2, lane 1 is Dylan Madigan. Lane 2 is Joshua Paul. Lane 3 is Matthew Soares. Lane 4 is Nathan Healy. Lane 5, Archie Spicer. Lane 6, Cormac Whiteley. And just letting you know, from heat 1, lane 5 was a DQ. So heat 1, lane 5 was a DQ.
All right, so good luck to Cormac on the 50 breast from Ben and Benji. Thank you very much. So as the boys are making their way through into the final 15, you're looking, like I said, the outside lanes as well as 4 and 5. Let's see. It looks like Nathan Healy of Wigan, but also lane 1 as well. Let's see who touches. That is Nathan, and he touches in a time of 39.17. On we go to heat number 3.
And in heat number 3, lane 1 is James Metcalf, lane 2 is Nicolas Castanera Mosquera, lane 3 is Caleb Waldemar, lane 4 Jack Jarvis, lane 5 Albert Smith, and lane 6 is Alfie Owen. And just letting you know, from heat number 2, lane 1 was a DQ. So heat number 2, lane 1 was a DQ.
Okay, so the boys halfway through this particular heat, and it's lane 5 and 6. Albert Smith in 5 of Manchester looks to just have the advantage on Alfie Owen in lane 6. The rest of the heat is very close together. And it is, as we said, Albert Smith coming under the flags. He's going to be touching the wall first, and a time of 37.28. We move on to heat number 4.
And in this heat number 4, lane 1 is Isaac Chow, lane 2 is Joseph Ball, lane 3 William Irvine, lane 4 Benjamin Cook, lane 5 Samuel Sutcliffe, and lane 6 Brandon Taylor.
Okay, so at the moment, once again, it's lanes 5 and 6 who are out in front. Lane number 5 is Samuel Sutcliffe, continuing his great swimming over the 3 weekends. But it's Brandon chasing hard in lane 6 as well. As they come under the flags, let's see who will take the touch. It is Samuel Sutcliffe in a time of 37.82. We move to heat number 5.
In heat 5, lane 1 is Harry Oakes, lane 2 James Fothergill, lane 3 Flynn Martin, lane 4 Christopher Yan, and lane 5 is Joshua Hollenby.
Can we have all remaining swimmers for event 601, the boys 50 breaststroke, through to marshalling, please? Good luck to Ben and all the Bobcats swimming today from Ethan. So as the boys make their way, this one's very close, looking like lane 6 is just out in front of lane 2, but lane 2 in James Fothergill coming back very strongly indeed. He's going to touch the wall, and he does in 37.20. Now we move to heat number 6.
In heat 6, lane 1 is Zachary Bellhouse, lane 2 is Luke Horton, lane 3 is Shreyas Mishra, lane 4 Isaac Jones, lane 5 Callum Mongan, and then lane 6 Rowan Allison.
So as they go through 25, looks like lane number 4, Isaac Jones, just out in front of lane number 5, Callum. But the rest of the heat catching them up very quickly. As I said, it does still look like the red hat of Isaac. He does have the slight advantage over the rest of the field. Let's see. It is Isaac Jones touching in 36.16. Off we go to heat number 7.
And in Heat 7, lane 1 is Ethan Richards, lane 2 is Harry Snape, lane 3 Jonathan Waters, lane 4 Hayden Laduzans, lane 5 Joshua Hayes, and lane 6 is Lewis Gilbert.
So they're heading down. As we said, you got Jonathan Waters, Josh Hayes and Lewis Gilbert. Looks like lane 6, Lewis Gilbert is just out in front, but coming back very strong, Jonathan Waters, who's going to take the touch. It is Lewis Gilbert who touches the wall first in 35.06. We move on to heat number 8.
Heat 8, lane 1 is Harry Lee, lane 2 is Lawrence Ndadai, lane 3 is Alex Campbell, lane 4 is Sol Sharp, lane 5 Joel Bertels, and lane 6 is Felix Breakwell.
I say lanes 5 and 6. Looks like Felix in 6 just has a slight advantage coming into the last 15 over Joel, who's in lane number 5. Lane 1 coming through very strong in Harry Lee. But it is still at the minute Felix, I would say, who's just out in front, but Harry Lee coming back, and it is Felix who touches first in 34.54. Off we go to heat number 9.
In heat number 9, we've got lane 1, Max Harvey, lane 2, Charlie Collins, lane 3, Charlie Shine, lane 4, Oliver Carter, lane 5, Oliver Titley, and lane 6 is Luke Kernan.
This is an announcement for team managers and coaches. Event 602, the women's open 200 metre freestyle. Can we have heats 1 through to 5 through to marshalling, please? That's heat 1 through to 5 for the 200 metres freestyle. As we reach the touch, it is lane number 2 out in front. And he takes the touch, it's Charlie Collins in a time of 34.53. We move on to heat number 10.
Heat 10, lane 1 is Cameron Ayres, lane 2 Aman Clark, lane 3 Daniel Jones, lane 4 Joseph Jones, lane 5 Matthew Tinkler, and lane 6 Luke Aitken.
Okay, reached the halfway point already in this heat. Slightly out in front is potentially lane number 4, Joseph Jones. Really closely followed by lanes 5 and 6, Matt Tinkler and Luke Aitken. Nothing now between lanes 3, 4 and 6 as we go for the touch. And it is Joseph Jones in a time of 34.03, and we move on to heat number 11.
Heat 11, lane 1 is Ethan Kelly, lane 2 Finlay Pope, lane 3 Johnny Gibbs, lane 4 Adam Seddon, lane 5 Jacob Brooks, and lane 6 is Joseph Arcangelo.
Okay, and through the halfway point already. It looks like lane 6 is out in front at the moment, being really closely followed by lanes 5 and 4. And get towards the flags. It is lane 3. Joseph Arcangelo out in front. Lane 1 coming through strong though, and it is lane number 6. Joseph takes the touch from Charlie Marlins in 33.78. We move on to heat 12.
Heat 12, lane 1 is Jacob Birtles, lane 2 Eber Clayton, lane 3 Shmingu, lane 4 Caleb Griffiths, lane 5 Luke Berry, and lane 6 is Harvey Kinnear. And just letting you know, from heat 11, lane 2 was a DQ, heat 11, lane 2 was a DQ.
Okay, the messages are now coming through on Twitter, and there's a message here from Kieran Johnson. Good luck to Pops and all the Wigan best. Let's go get this last day smashed. Hashtag Lance Champs 2022. And we move towards the touch. Out in front is lane number 3, and he takes the touch in 33.07. And we move on to heat 13.
In heat 13, lane 1 is Ehi Itua, lane 2 is Thomas O'Donnell, lane 3 Charles Kelly, lane 4 Fraser Cook, lane 5 Joshua Morrison, and lane 6 Dominic Morgan. Just letting you know, from heat 12, lane 1 was a DQ. Heat 12, lane 1 was a DQ.
Okay, we're moving right down to the business end of the pool now already. Out in front, lane number 4, closely being followed by lane number 3. Fraser Cook just ahead at this point. And he takes the touch, 31.46. And we move on to heat 14.
Heat 14, lane 1 is Oscar Smith, lane 2 Alexander Turnbull, lane 3 Ruben Robotham Keating, lane 4 George Robinson, lane 5 Conor Meelan, and lane 6 Maxwell Sturziker.
Okay, already through the halfway point. Lanes 3 and 4 out in front. Ruben and George pushing strong from City of Manchester and Preston. As we get towards the flags, it's lane number 4, George Robinson, slightly in front, but lane number 3 coming through, and it is Ruben who takes the touch in 31.74 from the City of Manchester, and we move on to the final heat in this event, heat 15.
Heat 15, lane 1 is Peter Thompson, lane 2 is Patrick Braddock, lane 3 Toby Ranson, lane 4 Dakota Ravatali, lane 5 Ewan Weaver, and lane 6 Oliver Parry.
Already through the halfway, down to the business end. Really, really fast start from lane number 4, Dakota Ravatali. And he's continuing to power through. He'll reach the flags first, being flanked by lanes 3 and 5. And he takes the touch in 30.85. Dakota Ravatali from Oldham Aquatics. And we move on to event 602, the women's open 200 metre freestyle. This is heat number 1.
Team coaches and managers, if we can have up to heat number 8 for event 602, the women's open 200 metres freestyle, through to marshalling, please.
Heat 1, we've got lane 1, Poppy Johnson, lane 3, Chiara Filone, lane 4, Caitlin Hume, and lane 5, Pollyanna Kershaw.
Okay, so we've got some finalists to announce for the men's open 50 metre breaststroke. In the 12 years age group, from Wigan Best is James Vaughan, from Ramsbottom is Cormac Whiteley, from Bolton Metro is Leo Talbot, and also from Bolton Metro is Samuel Williams. Moving on to your 13 years age group, from Crosby is Nicholas Castorino, from Wigan Best is Alfie Owen, from City of Manchester is Albert Smith, from Ramsbottom is Samuel Sutcliffe, from the City of Salford is Harry Oakes, from Wigan Best is Nathan Healy, and your reserve finalist for this one from Burnley Bobcats is Benjamin Cook, and from Crosby is William Irvine. Moving on to your 14 years age group finalists, from Wigan Best is Joshua Hayes, from City of Salford is Luke Aitken, from Oldham Aquatics is Oliver Parry, from Crosby is Ethan Kelly, from Blackpool Aquatics is Jonathan Waters, and from Preston is Isaac Jones. Your reserve finalist for the 14 years age group from City of Manchester is James Fothergill, and from Bridgefield is Christopher Yan. So your 15 years age group finalist from Liverpool Penguins is Luke Curran, from Carnforth is Felix Breakwell, from City of Manchester is Shumingo, from Preston is Harvey Kinnear, from City of Manchester is Lewis Gilbert, and from Liverpool Penguins is Max Harvey. Your reserve finalist from Aquabers is Callum Mongan, and from St Helens is Sharish Mishra. So at the minute, out in front is lane number 5. Is Polly from Blackpool. She turned there at 1:54.28. The rest of the field very close together as they make their way back down the pool for the final time. I said Polly had an entry time of 2:36. I said her entry time was 2:36. She touches the wall at 2:33.85 as the rest of the swimmers come under the flags. Well done, swimmers. We move on to heat number 2.
In Heat 2, we've got Lane 1, Alice Holt, Lane 2, Evie Sampson, Lane 3, Hannah Lee, Lane 4, Neve Mussel, Lane 5, Lauren Dunnett, and then Lane 6, Lois Anderton.
Moving on to some more finalists for the men's 50 breaststroke. In the 16 years age group from Blackpool Aquatics is Maxwell Sturziker. From the Isle of Man is Connor Meelan. From Aquabirds it is Ewan Weaver. From City of Manchester is Oscar Smith. From the City of Liverpool is Peter Thompson. And from the City of Manchester is Eva Clayton. Your reserve finalist to that one from Southport is Joseph Jones. And from Bolton Metro is Luke Berry. Moving to your 17 years and over. The finalist for this one from Southport is Charles Kelly. From the City of Manchester is Toby Ranson. From Oldham Aquatics is Dakota Ravatelli. From Southport is Fraser Cook. From City of Manchester is Ruben Robotham Keating. And from Preston is George Robinson. Your reserve finalist for that one from the Isle of Man is Alexander Turnbull. And from Oldham Aquatics is Patrick Braddock. You now have 15 minutes to hand in any withdrawals. Okay, so as the girls come down the pool for the halfway turn, there's Neve Mussel turning first in 1:12.76, followed by her teammates Alice and also Hannah in lanes 1 and 3. Working very hard in lane number 5 is Lauren as well from the Isle of Man. At a minute, looking at it, you've got lanes 1, 4 and 5. Possibly lane 1 in Alice Holt, who's out in front as she takes the turn here for the final time. It is Alice turning first in 1:51.58. 2 tenths behind her is lane 5 in Lauren. So very close between them two. Also Neve working very hard as well in lane 4 as they make their way into the final 25. So at the moment it is the Isle of Man in lane number 5 with Lauren, who is now starting to pull away with a body lengths lead. She goes under the flags. What time is she going to touch the wall? It's a time of 2 minutes 27.16. We move on to heat number 3.
And in Heat 3, lane 1 is Clara Spence from Lancaster. Lane 2 is Harriet Rawlings from Southport. Lane 3, Kate Roberts from Leyland Barracudas. Lane 4 is Ola Emery from Ramsbottom. Lane 5 is Ania Chisnell from Wigan Best. And lane 6 is Caitlin Scaife from Southport.
So at the moment it is lane number 1, and Clara, who is out in front, as well as lane number 4, who is Ramsbottom's Orla, and so them two out in front at the moment. So the fastest entry time for this one in the junior and the senior is held by Eleanor Kay in Bolton. Their entry time 2:06.16. We'll see how she does with that later on. Turning first at the halfway point is Clara. She turns in 1:09.36. Followed by Orla, who turn in 1:09.95. And then Harriet Rawlings in lane 2, who turn round in 1:10.53. So we said we read the scores out a little bit earlier on for the team scores from the end of yesterday, but for everyone on YouTube who wouldn't have heard them, in the next heat we'll give you an update on exactly how the clubs are doing. So now it's a race between lanes 1 and 2 in Clara and Harriet. Clara's still turning first, but she's got less than a second now on lane number 2 in Harriet as they make their way back down for the final 50. Clara working very hard now as she starts to make her way into the final 25, giving chases. Harriet in the lane next to her. I said Clara's entry time was 2:27. If she goes under the flags, that's going to go, but just by how much? Clara touches in 2:24.39. Ryan goes crazy in the commentary box. There we go, we move to heat number 4.
And in heat 4, from Wigan Best in lane 1 is Phoebe Grogan. Also from Wigan Best in lane 2 is Georgia Howard. And also from Wigan Best in lane 3 is Lauren Watson. Lane 4 is Scarlett Hutchinson Thompson from Bolton Metro. Lane 5 from Stretford is Isabella Holmes. And from Fleetswood in lane 6 is Layla Lawrenson.
Can we have up to heat number 12 through to marshalling for the Women's Open 200 metres freestyle, please? So going round first there is lane number 1, Wigan Best Phoebe Grogan. She turns in 33.12. Not far behind her is Scarlett Hutchinson Thompson. He goes around in 33.69. Just over half a second, Phoebe's lead at the moment. As I said, for everyone watching at home or in the car parks or wherever you may be, just to run through the age group scoring for you, the top 5 in reverse order. These were scores as of finishing yesterday. 5th place is Ramsbottom on 325. 4th place is City of Manchester on 368. 3rd place is Bolton Metro on 386. 2nd place is the City of Salford on 615. But out in front with 1,097 is Wigan Best. Going to your championship scoring in reverse order, in 5th place is the Isle of Man with 18. In 4th place with 20 points is Bolton Metro. In 3rd place with 25 is the City of Manchester. In 2nd place with 86 is Wigan Best. And in 1st place with 97 is the City of Salford. So as the girls turn at the 150 point, as they start to make their way back home, it is now Scarlett who is out in front. Phoebe Grogan still with her in 2nd place though. Say a little battle between themselves in lanes 1 and 4. I say not far behind them is lane 3, and that is Lauren Watson. She is coming back strongly as well, as is lane number 6 in Layla. And it says still out in front is Scarlett, and still working hard in 1 and 3, as we said, was Phoebe and Lauren. But Scarlett touches the wall in a time of 2 minutes 26.16. And we move on to heat number 5.
And in heat 5, lane 1 is Joni Dunn from Ormskirk. Lane 3 is Lily Duke from Stretford. Lane 4 is Isla Holland from Wigan Best. Lane 4 is Honor Luckhurst from Preston. And also from Preston in lane 6 is Nandini Kapoor.
So taking the first turn, out in the lead is Lily Duke in lane number 3. She turned round in 33.47. But as you will see on your TVs or your phones or wherever you're watching, very close at the start of this particular 200-metre heat. Here's Lily, who's still out in front at the moment. But as we said, lanes 4, 5 and 6 it's working very hard. As is Joni in lane number 1. So again, at the 100-metre turn, it is Lily still out in front. Joni's moved up into second place now, around about half a second between them two. Well, as we said already, as you can see, the rest of the field is very close together. Okay, so coming back down, as you can see, it's still Lily who's out in front. Working very hard is lane number 5. As we said, as they come under the flags, we'll see who takes the touch. There's Lily Duke in a time of 2:28.09. We move on to heat 6.
And in heat number 6, lane 1 is Lucy Mulholland from Preston from Wigan Best. In lane 2 is Ruby Sheehan. Lane 3 is Ebony Thorburn from Southport. And lane 4 is Jessica Ball from Prescott. Lane 5 is Charlotte Walwork from Southport. And in lane 6 from the City of Salford is Emily Jackson-Smith.
So after the first turn, it is Emily Jackson-Smith from the City of Salford, who goes round first in 32.90. Just 1/10 behind her, though, is Jessica Ball from Prescott. I want to say all to play for as the girls turn back around for the final 100 in this particular one. And just whilst I can see her, because I know she's come out onto poolside now, want to say a big happy 14th birthday to Lucy Dursley from Wigan Best. Good luck in your 200 crawl this morning. Lots of love from Mum, Dad and Katie. Katie shaking, sorry, as I say, Lucy shaking her head at me there. If looks could kill. Anyway, as the swimmers made their way back up the pool, it is still lane 6 in Emily Jackson-Smith, who's out in front. Followed there by lanes 1 and 5. So we said Emily Jackson-Smith turns around in 1:48.82. And Lucy Mulholland of Preston in lane 1. Outside lanes, fast in this one. She turned in 1:49.65. And here's them two, with the rest of the heat not too far behind. Lane 2 in Ruby Sheehan, working hard as they come down into the last 25. As we said, at the moment, the heat coming all bunched together really, but it is still now lane 1s and 6 who are out in front. Ruby Sheehan coming very fast back into it, but taking the touch on this one is Lucy Mulholland in lane 1. She touches first in 2:26.68. We move on to heat 7.
And in Heat 7 in Lane 1 from Burnley Bobcats is Jasmine Bullock-Teal. Lane 2, Elizabeth Gregson from Blackpool Aquatics. And in Lane 3 from the City of Salford is Caitlin Postolachi-Suchu. Lane 4 from City of Salford is Sandra Jacka. Lane 5 from Ramsbottom is Sophia Mann. And in Lane 6 from Wigan Best is Lily Tipping.
As taking the early lead is lane number 6, Lily Tipping. She turns in 31.42. Second place is Sandra in lane 4. But again, as you will see, lanes 1, 2, 3, 5 very close together. Lily still just has the advantage over Sandra. So at the halfway turn, it's still Lily out in front, turning this time in 1:07.82. But Sandra is tracking her down. So also you've got lane 2 and 3 as Elizabeth and Caitlin starting to make their way through. And again, at this moment in time, it is still Lily who's out in front. Well, Sandra working very hard. It looks like Sandra may turn first at this particular turn. Sandra does turn first, and it is now Lily in second, but nothing between them. But now, as you see, lanes 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6 are pretty much in a line as they make their way back down through into the final 30 meters even of this 200 race. Lily having a look where they are, and she's making the way down. Legs are going off all the swimmers, working harder. The 2 Salford swimmers in the middle, and Caitlin and Sandra, as well as lane 1, Jasmine. And who's going to take the touch? It is Jasmine Bullock-Teal in lane number 1 in a time of 2:21.95. We move on to heat number 8.
And in heat number 8, lane 1 is Isabel Lloyd from Wigan Best. Lane 2 is Eliza Radcliffe from Prescott. In lane 3 from Bolton Metro is Ruby Swinney. Lane 4, Samantha Harrington from Crosby. Lane 5 is Grace Waring-Hewlett from Preston. And lane 6 is Sophie Davis from Southport.
So as they go around for the turn, it is lane number 5, Grace Waring-Hewlett, who goes around in 30.83. She's then followed by Ruby Swinney. And close behind her is Sophie Davis. But as you can see, at this moment in time, the red hat of Preston in lane number 5, Grace out in front. Followed by Bolton's Ruby Swinney. As we said, still over in lane 6 as well, Southport Sophie Davis. I say Grace goes round in 1:05.99. He's got over a second and a half lead of Ruby. But yeah, as we look at that shot, so as we say, you can see just the distance that Grace has got over the rest of the heat in this one. She turns in 1:43.04, extended a lead now over 2 seconds on lane number 3, Ruby Swinney. All the girls, as you see, start to work hard as they know it's the final 50 metres. Put everything in as they make their way back to the wall. They are starting to track Grace down. Not sure they're going to have enough pool to catch her. But we will see. Lane 3 coming through in Ruby Swinney. Oh, I say coming through. She's been there the entire race. But as they come under the flags, Grace is going to be getting the touch here. Let's see what time she comes in at. 2 minutes 20.78. We move on to heat number 9.
And in heat 9, lane 1 is Brittany Makangu from the City of Salford. Lane 2 is Megan Doherty from Leyland Barracudas. Lane 3 is Lucy Dursley from Wigan Best. Lane 4, Hannah O'Brien from Blackpool Aquatics. Lane 5 is Georgia Sheffield from the City of Salford. And also from the City of Salford in lane 6 is Charlotte Mularkey.
Can we now have all remaining swimmers for event 602 through to marshalling, please? All remaining swimmers for event 602, the 200 metres freestyle for the ladies, through to marshalling. So at the 50 metre turn, Brittany Makangu, in lane number 1, going round first in 31.32. And it is still Brittany out in front at the moment. And second place is going the orange hat of Blackpool in Hannah O'Brien. And running third just at the moment, I say, Charlotte Mularkey from City of Salford, although coming through strongly at this point is Megan Doherty in lane number 2, or Doherty, sorry. But this time, I say, Brittany turned around in 1:06.54, still 2 seconds over Hannah. Like we said, as Lucy Dursley in lane 3, whose birthday is today. She can't hear me now. Won't give me the stir of death. Thanks for that, Mum and Dad. Like I say, Brittany going around in 1:44.09. Hannah O'Brien closes the gap a little bit there now to under 2 seconds. As well as Megan working hard in lane 2 as well. Again, as we come into the final 25, Hannah's gone to the legs. You can see Hannah in lane 4 working extremely hard now, as is Brittany in lane 1, as well as Megan in 2. Coming through very strongly is Megan in 2 and also Hannah in 4. Brittany working very hard to hold the lead that she's had, but it is going to be Megan who's going to come in here, I think. And it is. Megan takes the touch there in 2:21.01. We move to heat number 10.
And in heat number 10, in lane 1, we've got Grace Robotham Keating from the City of Manchester. Lane 2 from Bolton Metro is Grace Taylor. Lane 3 from the Isle of Man is Madeline Hemmers. Lane 4, Lauren Airy from Preston. Lane 5, Abigail Turner from the City of Manchester. And lane 6 is Heather Moore from Southport.
Come down to the far end of the pool to take the turn for the first time. Out in front, lane number 4, Lauren Airy of Preston turns in a time of 31.62. Very, very closely followed behind by Bolton Metro's Grace Taylor. Powering down the second 50 metres, and it is Lauren and Abigail who are pushing forward, with Grace Taylor in lane 2 chasing them down. Coming to the wall for the second time. And it is Lauren from Preston who turns in 1:07.95. Following the same order again by Grace Taylor of Bolton Metro in 1:08.04. Really, really pushing hard though is Abigail Turner from City of Manchester. They work their way down to take the final turn. Could be anybody's this. We'll just check them as they come under the flags. It is still Lauren Airy of Preston. Turning into the wall first. 1:44.11. Really closely followed behind this time by Abigail Turner of City of Manchester. 1:44.38. Anything between these two now as we come up the pool. And Abigail starting to take control now. Into the last 15 metres. Abigail pushing forward, still being chased really, really hard by Lauren. And as they come to take the touch, it is Abigail Turner, the City of Manchester in 1:18.92. Lauren Airy second with 2:19.91, and Grace Taylor from Bolton 2:21.69 in third place. We move on to Heat 11.
Heat 11, lane 1, we've got lane Emily Wade from Leyland Barracudas. Lane 2 is Ava Grace Hodson from Wigan Best. From Burnley Bobcats, and lane 3 is Bailey Seary. Lane 4, Annabelle Cayley from Fleetwood. Lane 5 is Heidi Halewood from Leyland Barracudas, and lane 6 is Francesca Cullen from Bolton Metro.
And we come towards the first turn. And it looks like it may be lane number 6 who out in front. It is Francesca Cullen of Bolton Metro turns first place 31.6. Second place is Ava Grace Hodson of Wigan Best 32.48. Come back up the pool. Lane 6 out in front. Nothing between lane 3, 4 and 5 and lane 2 Ava Grace Hodson. And it looks like it's Heidi Halewood of Leyland Barracudas now pushing into second place. We look to take the touch. And it's Francesca Cullen out in front on 1:06.51. Second is Heidi Halewood, Leyland Barracudas 1:08.82. Third place is Ava Grace Hodson, Wigan Best. All the swimmers working really hard in this second 100. Abigail, Francesca Cullen, still out in front, and turns in 1:43.93. Second place Heidi Halewood in 1:45.45. Third place now up with Emily Wade of Leyland Barracudas, and 2 Leyland swimmers in this heat. And they reach the halfway point, final 25 metres. It is Francesca Cullen of Bolton Metro, really closely followed behind by Heidi Halewood of Leyland Barracudas. Nothing between the other 4 swimmers now. As we get to the wall, it's going to be close. It is Francesca Cullen in a time of 2:20.3. Second place is Heidi Halewood in 2:21.07. Third place is Emily Wade, 2:22.28. Heat 12.
And in Heat 12, in lane 1, we've got Lucy Whittles from the City of Salford. Lane 2 is Eleanor Edwards from Burnley Bobcats. Lane 3 is Ella Proctor from Blackpool Aquatics. Lane 4 is Scarlett Lazenby Tracy from Stretford. In lane 5 from Preston is Pippa Darlington, and in lane 6 from Leyland Barracudas is Hannah Morris.
We're already at the wall, taking that first turn. And it is Pippa Darlington who turns first in 30.90. Second place is Hannah Morris of Leyland Barracudas, 31.49. Out there in lane 5 and 6. Nothing between the other 4 swimmers. We come back up the pool to take the second turn. And it is still Pippa Darlington out in front. Very, very closely followed by Hannah Morris of Leyland Barracudas. And all the other swimmers now coming in a line, bridging the gap now. Pippa turns first in 106.51. Second place, Hannah Morris, 107.93. And all the other swimmers turning on 108. As they come back up the pool, Pippa in front, but the others all in a straight line. We come towards the third turn, and it is still Pippa out in front as we come under the flags, closely followed by Hannah Morris. She turns in a time of 1:42.49. Hannah nearly 2 seconds behind her. All the swimmers now starting to kick into this final 50 metres, working hard. Third place is anybody's, but first place, it's looking likely this will be Pippa Darlington from Preston. Hannah Morris working hard to track her, and I think it will be Pippa who takes the touch. And she does in 2:17.85. Hannah Morris 2:19.37. Third place is Ella Proctor of Blackpool 2:21.95. And we move on to Heat 13.
Heat 13, lane 1 is Jenna Cross from Preston. Lane 2 is Gracie Louise Potts from the City of Salford. Lane 3 is Isabel Brealey from Blackpool Aquatics. And in lane 4, Tilly Copeland from the City of Manchester. Lane 5 is Chloe Shaw from Wigan Best, and lane 6 is Sarah Mann from Preston.
And as we come up to the first turn, there's nothing between lanes 4 and 6. And turning first is Tilly Copeland of City of Manchester, 30.6, followed by Zara Mann of Preston, 30.65. Coming back up the pool now. The second 50 metres. And there's 3 in a straight line now in lanes 4, 5 and 6. That's Tilly Copeland. Chloe Shaw of Wigan Best now coming through. Zara Mann in with them. And then lanes 2 and 3 now starting to close ground. And at the turn for the 100, it is Tilly Copeland, City of Manchester, turning in 106.25. Second place is Chloe Shaw, Wigan Best, 106.39. Coming through now in lane 2, Gracie Louise Potts of the City of Salford. Isabel Brealey of Blackpool Aquatic. Those 4 swimmers now in a straight line as we come towards the flags to take the third turn. Who's going to turn first into this final 50 metres? It is Chloe Shaw of Wigan Best turns first, really closely followed behind by Gracie Louise Potts of the City of Salford. Chloe pushing hard now. We come up the final 50 metres. Coming through in lane number 3 is Isabel Brealey of Blackpool Aquatic. She's marginally now out in front. And Gracie Louise Potts pushing her hard, coming through. It's going to be close now as we come to the wall between lanes 2 and 3. Looks like it will be Gracie Louise Potts of the City of Salford who takes that in 2:18.14. Lane 2, Isabel Brealey of Blackpool in 2:18.62 in second place. And we move to Heat 14.
And in heat 14 in lane 1 from Blackpool Aquatics is Peter Chilton. Lane 2 from Wigan Best is Chloe Ridge. In lane 3 is Caitlin Gibson from Bolton Metro, and from Wigan Best in lane 5 is Amelia Picton. Lane 6 is Grace Jackson from the City of Salford.
We come up for the first turn. It looks like it is going to be lane number 1, Peter Chilton, turning in 31.04. Second place goes to Caitlin Gibson in 31.12. As they move back up the pool. And it is the lane number 3, Caitlin Gibson, coming through for Bolton Metro. And lane number 6, Grace Jackson now. Nothing between lanes 1, 3 and 6 at the turn. And Peter Chilton takes the turn in 106.16 in front of Caitlin Gibson of Bolton Metro, 106.38. And we go through the 25-metre mark there on the third length. Grace Jackson really starting to motor there in lane 6. We'll see who moves in for the turn. Coming under the flags, Peter Chilton and Grace Jackson. At the turn, it is Peter Chilton in front, 142.29, but 0.04 behind her is Grace Jackson. So this could be anyone's in this final 50 metres. Coming through hard there in lane number 5 is Amelia Picton of Wigan Best. Pushing strong. This could be absolutely anyone's towards the wall. Lane 1, lane 5, lane 6. It is Peter Chilton from Blackpool Aquatics, 117.29. Second place, Amelia Picton, Wigan Best, 117. And we move on to heat 15.
And in heat 15 in lane 1, we've got Millie Galgani from Oldham Aquatics. Lane 2 is Georgia Carroll from Wigan Best. Lane 3 is Katie Lee from the City of Salford. Lane 4 is Ella Falkingham from Southport. Lane 5 is Evie Clare from the City of Manchester. And lane 6 is Hattie Varley from Burnley Bobcats.
Okay, and at the first turn, it is lane number 6, Hattie Varley, Burnley Bobcats, turning first, just in front of Katie Lee of the City of Salford in lane number 3. Halfway down this second 50 metres, approaching the first 100 turn. And it's Hattie Varley out in front with a full body length lead over the rest of the field. Katie Lee now pushing hard in lane number 3. And at the turn, it's Katie Lee takes the turn first in 104.52 and takes over, pushing down this, starts off this second 100 metres. Working our way down to the far side of the pool again now. Nothing between lanes number 3 and lane number 6. Hattie and Katie, the rest of the field spread out between them. Coming through, Evie Clare, City of Manchester in lane number 5. At the turn, it is Katie Lee, turning in 139.05. Hattie Varley a second behind her, Evie 2 behind that. Katie pushing really, really hard now, coming into this in this last 50 metres. Nothing between lanes 5 and 6, Evie Clare, Hattie Varley of the Burnley Bobcats. Narrowing that down, probably a body length in front is Katie Lee. She comes under the flags. What time is she going to touch at? It will be 2:13.16. Second place, Evie Clare, 2:15.98. Third place, Hattie Varley, 2:16.42. And we move on to heat 16.
And in heat 16 in lane 1 from Bolton Metro is Bethany Shum. Lane 2 from Wigan Best is Olivia Sheehan. Lane 3 from the City of Manchester is Olivia Lloyd-Jones, and also from the City of Manchester in lane 4 is Mia Mason. Lane 5 is Isabel Lipchot from Wigan Best, and also from Wigan Best in lane 6 is Evie Cutter.
We've got a Greater Manchester showdown in this heat because it's all Wigan, Manchester Aquatics and Bolton swimmers. At the turn, it is Olivia Lloyd-Jones of the City of Manchester, turned in 30.09. Second place is Mia Mason of Manchester. All the swimmers try to make some ground up. Pushing them hard now over in lane number 5 is Isabel Liptrot. And then nothing between the other 3 swimmers, Evie Cutter and Olivia Sheehan from Wigan Best, flanking those swimmers. As we turn at the 100, we're just coming under the flags. It looks like it will remain Olivia Lloyd-Jones in front. Oh, Mia Mason's turned in first place in 104.3, followed by Olivia Jones in 0.38. Olivia Sheehan pushing hard, Isabel Lipchot behind, and it is in lane 4 now, Mia Mason. And as we turn for the last time, it's Olivia Sheehan who turns first in 1:38.24. Mia Mason, 0.17 behind her, and Isabel Lipchot a second behind that. Pushing really hard down this last 50 metres. Nothing really between Olivia Sheehan and Mia Mason. As we come under the flags for the last time, Olivia pushing hard, and it will be Olivia Sheehan takes the touch for Wigan Best, 2:11.57. Mia Mason second, 2:12. Third place, Bethany Shum, 2:14.59. And we move to our penultimate heat, 17.
And heat 17 in lane 1 from the City of Salford is Amelie Bloxage. Lane 2 is Kira Prentice from the Isle of Man. Lane 3 is Ella Bloxage from the City of Salford. Lane 4 is Katie Rawnsley from Prescott. And also from Prescott in lane 5 is Lucy Parsons. And in lane 6 from the City of Salford is Cara Towill.
So we turn for the first time. And in first place at that turn is Katie Rawnsley of Prescott, followed by her Prescott teammate Lucy Parsons, 30.78, 30.90 for Lucy. Coming back up the pool is those 2 swimmers slightly out in front, nothing between lanes 2, 3 and 6. Cara Towill and Ella Bloxage really trying to narrow that gap. And at the turn, there's nothing between the 2 Prescott swimmers, but it's Katie who turns marginally in front by 0.8 of a second. And they continue to have their own race off in the middle of the pool. 2 Salford swimmers pushing hard, and in lanes 1 and 2 now, Amelie Bloxage and Kira Prentice of the Isle of Man starting to push forward. As we approach the flags, it's still the 2 Prescott swimmers out in front. with Amelie Bloxage now coming through. Okay, Lucy Parsons turns first, 1:39.45. 0.05 behind is Katie Rawnsley. But Amelie Bloxage now coming through really hard in lane number 1. As we move towards the last 15 metres and come back towards the flags, it's looking like lane number 5, Lucy Parsons, but Amelie Bloxage flying through. It is Lucy Parsons, 2:13.53, but Amelie Bloxage second in 2:13.78. And we move to our last heat, heat 18.
And in this last heat, heat 18, in lane 1, we've got Madison Wrens from Crosby. Lane 2 is Rachel Hornby from Wigan Best. Lane 3 is Eleanor Kay from Bolton Metro. And lane 4, Mia Buslam from the City of Liverpool. Lane 5 is Lucy Dixon from the City of Salford. And from Wigan Best in lane 6 is Lydia Swindell.
Right. We're into this last heat now, and we're down to the first turn, the 50-metre mark. Turning first is Eleanor Kay of Bolton Metro, closely followed behind by lane number 4, Mia Buslam, City of Liverpool. Third place, Lydia Swindell of Wigan Best. Out there in lane number 6. Nothing really much though between lanes 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6 as we come back towards the 100-metre mark. And we approach the flags and move towards the turn. And it's lanes 2, 3 and 4 now. Turning, it's Mia Buslam who turns first in front of Eleanor Kay of Bolton Metro, but nothing between them and Madison Wrens and Rachel Hornby, lane 2. And it's lanes 2, 3 and 4. Rachel Hornby, Eleanor Kay and Mia Buslam out in front there. Does look like Mia has a lead as we enter the flags, and she does, slightly in front of the other two, but not by much. Mia turns first in 1:36.56, less than a second between the other two swimmers out in lanes 2 and 3 next to her. Who can give the most on this last 50 metres now to get to the touch? It is Mia out in front in lane 4. She's got almost the body length now. The other two swimmers are coming back. I think Mia is going to get the touch. Nothing between the other two though. First place is Mia Buslam, 2:10.06. Second place, Eleanor Kay, 2:11.22. Third place, Rachel Hornby, 2:11.25. And that concludes event 602. We move to event 603, the men's open 800-metre freestyle. There are just 3 heats, and this is heat number 1.
And in this first heat, in lane 1 from Blackpool Aquatics is William Kershaw. Lane 2 from Southport is Callum Byrne. Lane 3, Wigan Best, is Matthew Sowers. And then lane 4 from Bolton Metro is William Grundy. And also from Bolton Metro in lane 5 is Samuel Williams.
So after 100 metres, it's lane number 3, Matthew Swords out in front, a time of 1:08.22. William Grundy is running second. I say he turned in 1:10.70 with Samuel Williams, his teammate, running third in 1:12.50. So just like Matthew's 1500, he's not hanging around. So it's at the 200 turn, that's Matthew in 2:22.02. And then following him is William Grundy. And again, his teammate, Samuel Williams. They're both from Bolton Metro. They both turned on a 2:31. So Matthew there goes halfway through his race. And he turns on a time of 4:51.52. Matthew's got himself around about 20 seconds on the second place at the moment. So Samuel Williams. So some results to announce for you in the women's 200 metres freestyle. Your 10 and 11 years age group in first place in a time of 2:43.24 from Wigan Best was Poppy Johnson. In your 12 years age group in third place from Blackpool Aquatics is Pollyanna Kershaw. Second place from Wigan Best is Georgia Howard. And in first place in a time of 2:31.37, so from Southport, is Evie Sampson. Moving on to your 13 years age group, in third place from Wigan Best was Evie Cutter. In second place from City of Manchester was Evie Clare. And in first place in a time of 2:13.78 from City of Salford was Amelie Bloxage. Moving on to your 14 years age group, in third place in a time of 2:18.14 from City of Salford, Gracie Louise Potts. In second place from Wigan Best was Isabel Liptrot. And in first place in a time of 2:13.16 from the City of Salford was Katie Lee. Moving on to your 15 years age group, in third place from Wigan Best was Lydia Swindell. Second place from Crosby was Madison Wrens. And in first place in a time of 2:13.53 from Prescott was Lucy Parsons. Moving on to your 16 years age group, in third place from City of Manchester was Mia Mason, who comes third in the juniors. Second place from Bolton Metro was Eleanor Kay, who comes second in the juniors and second in the seniors. And in first place in a time of 2 minutes 10.06 from the City of Liverpool was Mia Burslem, who comes first in the juniors and first in the seniors. Coming round to your 17 years and over, in third place from Prescott was Katie Rawnsley. In second place from Wigan Best was Olivia Sheehan. And in first place in a time of 2 minutes 11.25, also from Wigan Best, was Rachel Hornby, who comes third in the seniors. And then in your combined results for the multi-classification for the British Para, in second was Chiara Fallone from the City of Salford. And in first in a time of 2 minutes 29.09, also from Salford, was Georgia Sheffield. So Matthew, you heard the whistles there. As you said, he goes round the 700, so over 100 left, as we said, and his turns are at 8:36.28. So Matthew's entry time was 10 minutes 3:82. So as I said, Matthew making his way back down. As a reminder, his entry time was 10:03.82. So Matthew coming into his final 15 metres. As I said, 10:03.82 was his entry time. And yet again, that one's going to go by a fair distance. Matthew touches the wall in 9 minutes 49.43. So coming down the pool now is lane number 5 as he comes into his last 25 metres is Samuel Williams. Samuel's entry time 10:47.31. Again, he's going to take a big chunk off that. We'll see exactly what it is. Yeah, Samuel touches in 10:27.94. After that, who's going to be next? We will soon find out. So in 10:40.94, Callum Byrne touches next in third, and then in 10:40.95, William Gundy touched. And William comes in and touches at 10:54.59. Move on to heat number 2.
And in heat number 2, in lane 1 from Wigan Best is Jack Pritchard. Lane 2, Andrew Clavis from Prescott. Lane 3 from Wigan Best is Samuel Grimes. And lane 4 is Joshua Keogh from Bolton Metro. Lane 5 from the City of Salford is Benjamin Ross. And lane 6 from Blackpool Aquatics is Cody Bridge.
So after 300 metres, it is Sam Grimes out in front. He turned at 3:14.44. And next, who's not far behind him, Joshua Keogh. He turned in 3:16.30. So at the 500 metre turn, it's still Sam out in front. He turns in 5 minutes 30.90. Joshua sticking with him though. I say he turned in 5:34.02. After that, you've got Benjamin over in lane number 5, and as well as Jack, so in lane number 1. So Sam turns this time, 7:13.32. Joshua around at 5 seconds behind him. So around about the 7:18. As these two swimmers come back down, well, they'll start to hear the whistles, as we said, letting them know they've got 100 metres left. Running third is still Benjamin, with Jack working hard in 4, as well as Andrew in 2. So Sam's entry time for this was 9 minutes 14.30. So Sam going round in 8:21.11. So as I said, Sam's entry time was 9:14.30, and he touches the wall this time in 8 minutes 53.73. Joshua comes in next on 9 minutes .53. Still running third is Benjamin Ross from Salford at the moment. So he turned in 9:07.69 with lanes 1 and 2. Jack and Andrew both turning on a 1:09. Them two battling hard. So touching third is Benjamin Ross from Salford in 9:42.52. And then in fourth was Andrew, 9:42.70, with Jack touching in 9:42.91. And Cody touches in 9:59.97. We move on to the final heat in this event. This is heat number 3.
And in this final heat of this event, heat 3 in lane 1, we've got Finlay Pope from Ramsbottom. Lane 2 is Joseph Stout from the City of Salford. And also from the City of Salford in lane 3 is Alexander Volkovoy. Lane 4 from the City of Liverpool is Tyler Melbourne Smith. In lane 5 from Oldham Aquatics is Patrick Braddock. And in lane 6 from the City of Salford is Nathan Lockett.
So as always, after this heat is complete, we will be having a break before we head into the finals. We said only one set of finals for you this morning, which is going to be a men's open 50-metre breaststroke. So after the first 100, Tyler out very fast, turning round there in 57.21. So at the moment, as I said, Tyler turned first at the halfway point. He goes round in 4:06.78. Again, in second is Alexander Volkovoy. He goes round in 4:16.38. And running third is his teammate from Salford, Joseph Stout. He went round in 4:21.17. So again, as we said, throughout the entirety of the race, Tyler still out in front. And Tyler turning this time in 6:16.27. Still followed by Alexander in lane number 3. And this time turning third was Patrick Braddock over in lane number 5. But it's very close between Patrick and Joseph in lane 2. So off Tyler goes in his last 100. He turned there in 7:21.83. Who says still in second? Alexander there, 7:37.45. Patrick goes round third in 7:44 dead. With Joseph very close to him still, 7:44.73. But Tyler's already turned and making his way down for the final time. I said Tyler's entry time was 8:25.70. Going to be close. He touches in 8:26.09. So coming into his last 15 metres. Where's it? Lane number 3. Alexander touches in 8:43.26. Touching next, Patrick Braddock. He takes a time of 8:48.75. Joseph Stout touching in 8:50.01. So Nathan now coming underneath the flags for his last 5 metres. Nathan touches on 9 minutes 9.70. And as he comes under the flags and into the wall, Finley touches in a time of 9 minutes 21.25. So as we said, we're going to have a short break now, and we will get on to our finals for this morning. Okay, we've got results to announce before we get the final started. So for the men's open, 800 metres freestyle, in your 12 years age group, in third place from Blackpool Aquatics was William Kershaw. In second place from Southport is Callum Byrne. And in first place in a time of 10 minutes 27.94 from Bolton Metro is Samuel Williams. In your 13 years age group, in second place from Bolton Metro was William Grundy. And in first place in a time of 9 minutes 49.43 from Wigan Best is Matthew Sawes. Moving on to your 14 years age group, in third place from Blackpool Aquatics was Cody Bridge. In second place from City of Salford was Benjamin Ross. And in first place from Bolton Metro in a time of 9 minutes 53 was Joshua Keogh, who also comes second in the junior section. Moving on to your 15 years age group, in third place from Wigan Best is Jack Pritchard. In second place from Prescott is Andrew Clavis. And in first place from Ramsbottom in a time of 9 minutes 21.25 is Finlay Pope, who comes third in the junior section. Moving on to your 16 years age group, your winner in that one from Wigan Best in a time of 8 minutes 53.73 is Samuel Grimes, who also comes first in the junior section. And moving to your 17 years and over, in third place from Oldham Aquatics was Patrick Braddock, who also comes third in the seniors. In second place from City of Salford was Alexander Volkovoy, who also comes second in the seniors. And coming first from the City of Liverpool in a time of 8 minutes 26.09 is Tyler Melbourne Smith, who also comes first in the senior division. Okay, so here we go. We move on to our finals for this morning. And these are for your men's 50 metre breaststroke. So as always, we start at event 605, which is your men's 12 years 50 metre breaststroke final. Introducing your finalists in lane number 2 from Wigan Best, James Vaughan. In lane number 3 from Ramsbottom, Cormac Whiteley. In lane number 4 from Bolton Metro, Leo Talbot. And in lane number 5 from Bolton Metro, Samuel Williams. So off we go with the first final of the morning. As we said, it is your 50 breaststroke final. Great underwater work there from James Vaughan. But everyone now is pretty much in a line. And as they make their way up to the first 25 metres, still anybody to choose from. I would say lane 3 at the moment is Cormac. Seems to have a very, very slight advantage on lane 4 in Leo. But as they move through to the final 15 metres, as we said, it is going to be Cormac, and he's going to touch in a time of 38.15. Second is Leo Talbot in 38.96, and third is James Vaughan in 41.10.
And next up is event 606, which is the men's 13 years 50 metre breaststroke final. And introducing your finalists, in lane 1, we've got Nicholas Castanera Mosquera from Crosby. And in lane 2, from Wigan Best, is Alfie Owen. Lane 3, from the City of Manchester, is Albert Smith. And in lane 4, from Ramsbottom, is Samuel Sutcliffe. In lane 5 from the City of Salford is Harry Oakes. And in lane 6 from Wigan Best is Nathan Healy.
as they come up after the dive on the men's 13 years 50 metre final. There's nothing between lanes 4, 5 and 3. Halfway down the pool. Out in front just slightly is lane number 4, Samuel Sutcliffe, closely followed by Albert Smith and Alfie Owen and Wigan Bess. Coming towards the flags, not much between those 3 swimmers. And Alfie Owen coming through really strongly. Who's going to take the touch? Oh, and it is Samuel Sutcliffe in first place, 36.84. Second place is Albert Smith, and third place is Alfie Owen. We move on to the 14 years final. Good. In lane number 1, from Wigan Bess, Joshua Hayes. In lane number 2, from the city of Salford, Luke Aitken. In lane number 3, from Oldham Aquatic, Oliver Parry. In lane number 4, from Crosby, Ethan Kelly. In lane number 5, from Blackpool Aquatic, Jonathan Waters. And in lane number 6, from Preston, Isaac Jones. And we're underway now in the 14 years final. Everybody coming up in a straight line. We move through to the first 25 metre mark. Out in front slightly is lane number 3, Oliver Parry of Oldham. Tracked really, really closely by Ethan Kelly from Crosby in lane 5. And it is lane number 3, Oliver Parry in front from Oliver. And the winner is Oliver Parry, 32.74. Ethan Kelly second in 33.4, and third Luke Aitken, 34.64. We move on to the 15 years final.
Event 608 is the men's 15 years 50 metre breaststroke final. Here are your finalists. In lane 1, we've got Luke Cunnan from Liverpool Penguins. In lane 2, from Carnforth, is Felix Breakwell. In lane 3, from the city of Manchester, is Shmingu. Lane 4, from Preston, is Harvey Kinnear. And in lane 5, from the city of Manchester, is Lewis Gilbert. And in lane 6, from Liverpool Penguins, is Max Harvey.
So off we go into 15 years age final. Working very hard at the moment, as you can see, pretty much a straight line. Maybe lane 3 with Shiming might just be very, very slightly in front, but we'll see as we come down to the final 15 metres. I would say it is Shiming in lane number 3, being tracked by Harvey Kinnear in 4, and as they go under the flags, it is going to be close. Who will take the touch? It is Harvey Kinnear touching first in 32.83. Lane 3, Shiming touching second, 32.85. And Felix Breakwell so in event 608, there is a disqualification to announce, and that was in lane number 2. Okay, we move on to event 609, which is your men's 16 years 50 metre breaststroke final. Introducing your finalists in lane 1 from Blackpool Aquatics, Maxwell Sturzica. In lane 2 from the Isle of Man, Connor Mealin. In lane number 3 from Aquabers, Ewan Weaver. In lane 4 from the City of Manchester, Oscar Smith. In lane number 5 from the City of Liverpool, Peter Thompson. And in lane number 6 from the City of Manchester, Eber Clayton. So off the swimmers go through the first 25 here. Again, it looks like lane number 3, the Ewan, does have a slight lead. Again, as they're coming towards the last 15, it is lane number 3 who is still out in front, and as they come under the flags, Ewan touches the wall first in a time of 31.86. In event 609, there is a disqualification to announce in lane number 2.
And we move on to the last final of the morning, the men's 17 years and over 50 breaststroke final. And here are your finalists. In lane 1, from Southport, Charles Kelly. In lane number 2, from the City of Manchester, Toby Ranson. In lane number 3, from Oldham Aquatic, Dakota Ravatali. In lane number 4, from Southport, Fraser Cook. In lane number 5, from the City of Manchester, Ruben Robotham Keating. And in lane number 6, from Preston, George Robinson. And all the swimmers are up in a straight line, all of them, as we approach the first 25-metre mark. I think out in front, potentially at the moment, is lane number 3. Really, really closely followed by 4 and 5. We come towards the flags. And it is lane number 3, Dakota in front. And is he going to hold on for the touch? He does. So the winner in time of 30.94 is Dakota Ravatali. Second place is Fraser Cook. And in third place is Charles Kelly. That concludes this morning's racing. So we'll be finishing off for the morning in terms of our coverage on YouTube. The girls warm-up will start at 1:30 and the boys warm-up at 2, and we will begin racing at 2:30.